The man said that he wouldn't fall. 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 The man fell. The man fell. The man fell. The man said that he wouldn't fall. But the man fell. Recently, a lot is going on in the country, Nigeria, and there are so many things happening all at once. Could it be because of the upcoming elections, or maybe because the fiber upon which this nation's stories are sown is finally tearing apart? Sorry if I came out like that. I'm taking it from my head a bit and taking it. But this video has a purpose. Currently now, Twitter and all social media platforms, people are quick to blame and accuse. Everyone has a side they are voting for, even before the election has begun. And I'm not here to say that the leading party is doing well. What I am here though to do is to talk about how we all have a pride. We all have a pride. Hello there, my name is A.P.C and you're welcome to my channel, It's All A.P.C here, where I talk about stories or topics that interest me. And I hope that if you stay long enough, I'll be able to make them interest you too. Today's video is going to focus on something that I have noticed, and the hypocrisy is not also lost on me because I am also an active participant of this thing. We all as human beings, outside Nigeria, everywhere in the whole world, we are always fond of being critics to people. We are always fond of saying that we are better or putting ourselves in a better light, a better position where we feel morally superior to other people. And even though we do not do this like consciously, sometimes our subconscious also plays a part in doing this. And so in this video, I want to ask, how much is your price? And do not think that I'm talking about monetary value. No, I'm talking about something more than that. How much is your price? When I ask that, I mean, what will it take for you to forgo your principles, your values, and everything you hold there, everything you say that you believe in? And I do not mean how much, like, did I give you money? I mean, what is your weakness that you know you can sacrifice everything for? So the idea that started this topic in my brain was this morning when I overheard my father in a discussion talking about how bad this government is. And yes, indeed, this government is very, very bad. We have gone through some punishment these 4 years, but this led me down a rabbit hole, like in my subconscious, in my conscience, in my brain, and I was thinking of so many things. But one thing that stood out was a man named Daniel Bwala, who recently went on a show with Mehdi Hasan and literally said everything he believes is true. I say he believes because everybody has a right to their own opinions, and everybody has a right to their opinions and their ideas to evolve and change as time goes by. But sometimes these opinions can be very harmful and be very, 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 very hurtful, especially when there are actual people dying. So the discourse after that show was a lot. I'm talking from Twitter to TikTok to Instagram. Everybody was talking about that man. And even the video, because I watched the video through YouTube, I saw the comment section and people were surprised. I was surprised too, not because I know the man. I didn't even know him. critic or no critic, I didn't know he existed. But what I did know was that in this country, ideologies change so fast. People forgo their principles, their morals, and these are people that you believed will stand up for you or will be different. It's not quite an unpopular saying in this country where they say that the people in the seat, if we go there now, won't you still be like them? Yes, because in reality, those people, if we are put in that seat, I want you to be brutally honest with yourself. Will you be the same or you will change? Some people would be the same, okay? Some people would actually hold steadfast to their principles and their values. And this is where this video is coming from. Because it's not every time they will ask you to, like they will want to bribe you with money. Sometimes they can put your loved ones in danger. And that is where I cross the line. I think, to me, that is where my own price is. Hurting my loved ones is not a negotiable. So, after the Daniel Bwala rabbit hole that I entered, and I don't know if I've been able to talk on it enough, but he was once a critic of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, respect and all that, you understand? So, from being a critic of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to being an advisor, you would expect that maybe things will change. Maybe he will carry those critiques that he kept on using and maybe advise the president to start implementing them. But I don't know if he has. I've not seen any changes in the Nigeria of before and the Nigeria now. But that is not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the fact that Daniel Bwala is just one in so many. Currently, we can see that almost all the governors in Nigeria are moving to A.P.C. Like they are moving from PDP to A.P.C. Is this a change of ideology? What is it? What is happening? Is it money or is it something more than money? Is it something more sinister than money? This also goes for the election in 2023, where we all know who won the election, but I would not go there because I don't want to put myself in trouble. But we all know that after the election, the results shook the fabric of this nation. It shook everything we believed in. It gave rise to political apathy, and I am not even joking. Like, I do not know if people will come out for this election. I don't know. And it's something to think about. It's something to really dwell about because it is sad news. But apart from that, almost all the governments in Nigeria are moving to A.P.C. If Daniel Bwala, a critic of President Tinubu, is now an advisor to President Tinubu, if the INEC chairman gave a result that we are very much contesting against because I do not understand the result of that 2023 election, if all these things is happening, is it a change in ideology? Is it a change in values? Are they just easy to bribe? Or are we all asking one question but very, very, very adamantly refusing to ask the other one? How much is your price? How much will it take for you to forgo your principles? I'll take you on a story here. When I was in SS2, I was a brother, and one time, because when I was in jail, I entered the boarding school in JS3, and I did not like the way seniors used to chant us, like we the junior students. Seniors would just come and go to the front and collect food in the refectory when it's time to eat. And when I entered SS2, I was standing on the line, and my classmates were like, "Why are you standing on the line? Just go and collect it. You are a senior now." And I was like, it goes against my principles to do to these people what was done to me that I did not like. And they felt like talking, and it started making me feel somehow. So I still stood on that line, but I was just not hearing them. And later, that's supposed to be SS2 or roughly SS3. So later, one of my friends came to me and said, like, "Why are you not chanting?" And I was like, I don't like that, because these children now, you'll be thinking exactly what I was thinking when I was in GS3 and SS1, that these seniors are very, very wicked. They will come enter your life and they will collect it and go. And she told me, well, that is how it is. And I was like, it's just my principles. I am not forcing it on anybody. And she was like, okay, she's one of my very good friends and she understood. However, this is where I'm talking about hypocrisy and how much will it take for you to forgo your values. Because later on, I think before, yes, I certainly did. Later on, I was chancing students. I don't know how I started it. I don't know whether I became tired of waiting in line. I don't know whether it's because students realizing that you don't want to chance might begin to take it for granted. All these things and many more. But I later forwent or forgo. I later left this principle I had that I won't chance students, and I started actually doing that which I said that I didn't want to do. Shocker. So why did I bring up this story? Because just like me, there are so many people out there in this country now that they are not holding steadfast to their principles again. They just want to make sure that whoever wins, they get a share of that cake, they get a share of that victory, and it doesn't even measure up to even if they are against what that person that might win is doing, they will still follow because they have seen the game, and the game is that the wicked people are always winning. So why not let me just join, because really what can I do with myself and all this kind of thing. So it kind of makes you wonder that what makes them to easily change their mind, what makes them to easily change. And I have not actually one reason. They see that the people that are doing wrong are always winning, so they're like, well, let me just go, let me just through, because I don't see why I keep on doing goody two shoes. Like I mentioned earlier, when I entered this rabbit hole, one thing I remembered was the Korean movie I watched. I always tell people about that movie, despite the fact that I can't remember the name. So I always tell people about that movie and how it was a crime movie, something like that, set in the townish part of Korea. I can't even remember the location exactly, but what I do remember was that there was a main character and there were other major characters, but not the main character. Among the major characters was one woman, and she was following the good guys to fight the bad guys. The bad guys are everywhere and they are very powerful, and they are the ones that are so underground. They are the bosses, and you can't easily catch them at all. You can't easily catch them. So later on, this girl and her boss, remember she's a major character, but her boss is the main character. This girl and her boss, they later left. Like how that put it, they separated. Something happened and they separated. And one day, one of the major bosses on the evil side, underground, came to meet her, and they told her that whatever she wants, they will give it to her if she just accepts to join their team. Let it not be shocking to you that yes, she joined their team. So from being a good person, she started fighting for the bad guys and fighting against the good guys, and she became a lawyer and went higher and higher in her promotion. And now people will be like, that is material, so it is not worthy enough to say that she should have forgo her principles and fight against the bad people. But we must also remember that we all have a price. To some people, this price is materialistic. To some people, this price is emotional. To some people, this price is something they hold very dear. And I feel like this is where society finally allows people to maybe forgo their principles, when one, their principles aligns with the majority in that society. Bringing back my story, because many of my classmates were like, they can't understand why I'm staying on the line. But that my friend was like, okay, I understand. Though she did not stay on the line. So when I started staying on the line, when I started chanting, everybody was like, you knew that you would still chance and all those kind of things. So that time, let me say, my classmates and I, we are a society. And when I finally started doing what is normal in that society, my principles were allowed to be forgotten and left one side. But secondly, another time when society, if it was that I had not forgotten my principles, I would have been considered someone that is doing too much. Or if that my principle was the normally accepted thing among my classmates, there wouldn't be much need for change. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So the second time a society or a group of people might allow you to forgo your principles easily is when that principle you forgo it because of something called losing your loved ones. Yes, till now, death is something that human beings take very seriously. Human beings, we are very, very sober. Once we sober up, once we hear that someone lost a loved one, and we suddenly become, oh, I'm so sorry. So if you forgo your principles because you do not want to lose your loved one, I'm sure like out of 100 people, 50 people will understand you. And the many people won't, and do not expect them to. When I mean forgoing your principles because you lost a loved one, and then society will be kinder and more understanding of why you did that than you did. What I simply mean is that your weaknesses, when you are not your weaknesses, your strength, but in that moment it becomes a weakness because you cannot do the right thing, because the right thing means losing the only good thing you have, or one of the good things you have that you know it will be hard to live without. So I can use an example in books and movies that are quite mainstream now. You see a strong man that he falls in love and suddenly his enemies can catch him because they will use the person that he has fallen in love with. Or you see a strong woman and suddenly something like, or you see a strong woman or even a strong man and his enemy being able to catch him is because they will ask him, how or you do what I want you to do, and he will choose her, obviously. And then maybe people like me like they are, okay, I understand why you did that because you cannot live without her. It doesn't make it bad, and there are some situations and circumstances where, mind you, this is very wrong, especially if it includes people's lives. So you notice that even to the women too and the men, when we are watching these movies and we are reading these books, we kind of see it play out where they are very strong, they are giving boss vibes, but suddenly their loved one, it might not be a partner, it might be their sisters, their brothers, or they are very, very tight friends, and they are put at gunpoint and they are told that you must do what they want you to do, or she goes, or he goes, and suddenly they are thinking, let me just do what they want me to do, because I cannot, or for the life of me, imagine a world where this person is gone. You tell this to somebody and they'll be like, I do not understand you, or they'll be like, I understand you. And this is what I mean. We having a price, I do not mean it is materialistic in nature. I'm talking about what we hold dear to us, that is very, very important to us, and we cannot live without. So in conclusion, what I've been trying to just say is that as the elections are coming, and if you watch this video, please also look within, because it is very easy for social media to want to make someone a scapegoat. It's very easy for social media to want to hate and hate and hate, and sometimes this hate, the other person is well deserving of it, but at times when we see that we can hate and hate and hate, there is an instinct in us to just continue hating without trying to change the norms, without even trying to make that person to understand that, oh, this is where your mistake, and we don't even want them to realize that they made a mistake. We just want to hate on them, and that is very bad. So we all have a price. So while the elections are coming on, you will see a lot of things. You see a lot of people changing their ideologies, changing to follow the party that they perceive will win. Please, as much as you're going to advise them, as much as you're going to try to be nice, as much as you're going to try to be harsh too, or very, very strict. Do not forget that if it was you in their shoes, there is something somewhere that if I mention it, if someone mentions it or holds it against you, you will bow, because there's always a price. We all have a price. So I want you to look inward. Please look inward. Thank you. That will be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was okay. I hope it interested you too. And please, you can go and do further research. This is always surface level topics. That is why they are always like this. That is not an excuse though. I'm going to try and start putting more research into my works. But please, always do your further research and always try to carry one or two things from the video. Thank you for watching. Do have a nice day. Bye bye.